I think we're going to say the same things again and again in little different ways so that we can start to really get it across. Because the purpose of fake news, if nothing else, what's happening is so many people are at odds today. There are these guys against those guys, the Democrats against the Republicans, this nationality against that. What's happening is when people are pitted against each other, when fear is brought into the equation again and again and again, it weakens us as human beings. We can't move forward with the higher purpose like Gail was speaking to a few moments ago if we are coming from fear. And there are beings that are working with fear that are trying to gather more money on the planet, trying to gather more control. And they use that fear to disempower others. But again, you have to look at what's true for me. I'm in this play just so that I can grow and learn. And it's a time to be able to discern what we really are attracted to, what works in this world, what feels good in this world, and what doesn't. And when we can make those decisions on what doesn't work and what does work, it's important to move toward what does work for us. And to do it in a way that my thought is, if we're working from that higher perspective and it's more inclusive of everything and everyone's needs, then we're coming from a place of love. Then we're coming from a place that is truly connecting us at the heart center. And that's the source of our energy, the source of our being, the source of our knowledge, the source of everything inside of us is wanting to expand in this dimension. And that source of love wants to work through us. And that's our opportunity right now. So we can take what's being presented in the world and discern what we feel is really motivating me to make a difference in bringing in more love, more consciousness, and then find ways to be of service in doing that. Like Gail was speaking to, the first level of service is to ourselves, just to survival. But that's a low level of purpose, a low level of understanding. Not one that we need to disregard, because we do need to survive. But once we have that down, to move to that higher level of being of service to others. And then moving still higher and being of service to growing consciousness, to growing love on the planet. Because we are at a time of great transformation, a time that's been foretold for eons, when there is transformation afoot. And we are part of those beings that are starting to recognize that we have this opportunity to grow. We have this opportunity to transform. The earth is going through her dance. She is transforming, and her rising vibration is wanting to pull us along. It's part of the whole dynamic that's created the fake news to begin with, because in this time of turmoil, in this time of change, all kinds of stuff is coming up, and we're being forced into situations where we're being asked to choose. And what are we going to choose?
This is an amazing time, as Gregory was saying, where we've talked about this, where the veils are being lifted. Well, what happens when veils are lifted? You see what's behind it. You see the dirt. You see what's what has been decayed. You see what doesn't work anymore. And so it is an opportunity to look at that and say, yes, we can see this now. So now we can take positive action. We can do something to bring greater love into this realm, into this beautiful physical dimension that our souls have brought life into. And so it's a good thing. It's a really valuable lesson time for each and every one of us to value the difficulties and see them as that which had been separation and which instead is calling for us to learn how to bring unity and compassion and love and service into the equation. And for a community, a world, a consciousness and humanity that has not been used to it, then we would expect to see a very strong reaction in the opposite. Oh no, this isn't safe. This isn't, I'm not going to be able to survive in a good way if I open myself up to all of these other options. And so it's scary and it's disturbing to the fabric of what has been in force. And that's all that it is. It's not good or bad. It's not fake or real. It's not truth or lie. It's not evil or divine. It is an opportunity for evolution in and of itself. And the soul is here to bring greater love and light and expression of goodness, of unity into this equation. And so, as difficult as it is at times, it's important to come back into the center of our being, that core, and remember what we're here for. Remember the higher purpose. And choose actions. Choose to be a creative vehicle in this expression. And see it from eyes that have had those blinkers lifted and are a little overwhelmed with the brightness, and instead sit with it, be with it, and then allow yourself to really come from a perspective of love and evolving consciousness.
It's important to bring in at this point, when Gail was talking about the lifting of the veils, just another example of how we have been shunted into disbelief and into darkness. The Greek word for lifting of the veils is apocalypse. And so I wanted to end on that note, that just what has been brought into our consciousness is that we are to fear this change, the lifting of the veils, the seeing truth and seeing the world for what it is, and being able to bring a higher light in to illuminate the situation, to be able to truly make the difference that we have been given the opportunity to make. And that's what I know we've both been speaking to, and the importance of this time in our lives is that we can make a difference, and everything can be understood as an opportunity. So rather than get worried by the bad guys or think there are bad guys or good guys, see it all as a play that is here to help us grow and give us the opportunity to make a major difference, because we're recognizing it. We're recognizing that it's a play. We can't get hurt. We're immortal beings living in a body that is meant to bring through love and consciousness. And that's what's going on right now, easier and more graciously, and I mean filled with grace than ever before.
It is a time of grace. So thank you and blessings.
Blessings.